NBC Sports presents Major League Baseball. From Fenway Park in Boston, the Minnesota Twins versus the Boston Red Sox. Brought to you by Winston Filler Cigarettes. Winston tastes good, like a cigarette should. By the new Gillette Super Stainless Steel Blade, the Spoiler. And by Chrysler Corporation, makers of Plymouth, Dodge, Chrysler, Imperial, and Dodge trucks. And the standings in the American League as we begin the last day of the season. Boston and Minnesota are tied for first. The Tigers are one half game out, playing a doubleheader against the California Angels in Tiger Stadium this afternoon. Today will decide it. Hi, everybody. This is Kurt Gowdy, along with Pee Wee Reese and Sandy Koufax. And today, Sunday makes a year. Never in the history of the American League have three teams gone to the last day of the season with a chance to win the pennant. And that's the way it is here today. Pee Wee, what do you think about it all?
Kurt, I think it's wonderful, and I'm just happy that I can be a part of it. I don't know about the players being a little nervous, but old Pee Wee is just being up here.
All right. Sandy Koufax.
Kurt, as a pitcher, this is the only day of the year where the bullpens are full. If you don't win today, you got 5 months between your next start.
This park was full an hour ago. They've turned away thousands and thousands of fans here. You'll hear a roaring, of course, partisan New England crowd as the Twins and the Red Sox battle here. We'll be getting you up to date on what's happening in Detroit also. But NBC's Major League Baseball will continue from Fenway Park in Boston as the Minnesota Twins battle the Boston Red Sox. Now let's go to Tiger Stadium in Detroit for an audio update from Tony Kubek.
Here in Tiger Stadium in Detroit, lightning has already struck twice. Yesterday, you'll recall, in the first game of the doubleheader, Willie Horton hit a two-run home run in the first inning. He did just that again today, a two-run home run by Willie Horton to put the Tigers ahead 2-0. Don Mincher hit a home run in the top of the second inning for the Angels off Joe Sparma. So right now, going to the Tigers' half of the second inning, it's Detroit 2, the Angels 1. And now back to Kurt Gowdy in Boston.
Now the meeting here at home plate, thanks to Tony Kubek, will be switching back to Detroit throughout this game. The Tigers playing the first game of the doubleheader. The Tigers must win 2 today to tie the team that wins this game for the American League pennant. Here's the lineup for the visiting team, the Minnesota Twins. Zolliver Zeiss leading off at shortstop. Cesar Tovar's at third base. Armin Killebrew at first base, batting third. Tony Olivas in right field, hitting cleanup. Bob Ellison's in left field, batting number 5. Ted Eulander's a center fielder, hitting 6th. Rod Carew at second base, batting 7th. Jerry Zimmerman's the catcher, hitting 8th. And Dean Chance will be pitching for the Twins. Chance has won 20 and lost 13. As Cal Irmer, 43, manager of the Twins with his back to you. Dick Williams, the manager of the Red Sox. The homestanding Red Sox, and they're taking the field now. This crowd gone fanatical here in New England with this miracle season. Gary Adair's at second, Dalton Jones at third, Carl Yastrzemski at left, Ken Harrelson's at right field, George Scott at first, hitting 5th, Rico Petrocelli, the shortstop, batting 6th, Reggie Smith in center field, batting 7th, Russ Gibson is the catcher, hitting 8th, and Jim Lomborg, the Red Sox 21-game winner with 9 losses, carries the hopes of the Red Sox. Standing ovation for the Red Sox as they took the field. The umpires, Nestor Shylock behind the plate, Lou DeMuro at first, Ed Runge at second, and Jim Honeychick at third. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. shot you saw was the Commissioner of Baseball, General Eckert, and along in the box with him today is the United States Senator from Massachusetts, Edward Brooke. We had Vice President Humphreys and Senator Kennedy here yesterday. You saw the flag over the anthem. A slight breeze today, not as windy as yesterday, blowing from third to first today. As we said yesterday, the wind in this ballpark probably has more effect in the game than any other ballpark in the American League. The wind's out, they go for the short fence. If the wind's in, and it usually is a strong wind off the Charles River here, it holds up balls hit, especially to right field. Jim Lomborg, a pre-med student in his junior year at Stanford, signed a bonus contract with the Red Sox, a 500 pitcher until this year when he suddenly blossomed into one of the best in baseball. He's 24 years old, born in Santa Maria, California. Lives now in San Luis Obispo, California. He has never beaten the Minnesota Ball Club. Dean Chance, pardon me, has defeated the Red Sox more than any other team in his career in the American League. But past history means nothing right now as we're about ready for the first pitch. And the batter is Zolo Verzais, hitting .201. Tries to bunt, fouls it back. Verzais has 6 homers, 50 RBIs, and he still talks around the batting cage before every ball game. He can't understand what's happened to him with the bat. 1965, the most valuable player in the American League. It's a high fly, shallow left center. Yastrzemski's coming on. Petroselli's out. And Yastrzemski has it. One down. Cesar Tovar is up, batting .268. And he is breaking an American League record today. He's playing in his 164th game. An all-time record in the American League. The Twins had 2 ties this year. The Major League record held by Maury Wills, who has played in 165 games in one season when he was with the Dodgers. Lomborg, primarily a sinker ball pitcher. Ball one, he came up with a slider this year that gave him an extra pitch along with a sinking fastball and a curve. And he says that's what put him over the top. There's his sinker, ball 2, 2-0. But the Twins have been tough for him. His record this year against Minnesota, no wins, 3 losses. His lifetime record against the Twins, no wins and 6 losses. Ground ball to Petroselli. 2 down. Killebrew is up now with 2 down, nobody on. Pee Wee talked to Killebrew before the game and asked him would he be trying to win the home run title today. Here's what he said.
Well, actually, Pee Wee, if I can get a walk or a single or get on with an air or something that will help win us the ball game, I'll be happy. And I'm not going to be trying to win the home run championship, actually. But if I can hit a home run, it'll help us with a game. That'll be all right, too.
Killebrew takes ball 1. Yastrzemski hit his 44th yesterday, then Killebrew came up in the 9th and hit his 44th. So they're tied for home runs. Yastrzemski leads the league in batting and in RBIs. Oh, 2-0 to Killebrew. They don't call him the killer for nothing. They have the shift on against him. 3 infielders on the left side. The outfield deep and toward left. The 2-0 delivery. 3-0 to him. He has hit 4 homers here this year. He's hit 30 lifetime homers here, more than any other road park. And this is a ballpark that favors a batter like Killebrew. The 3-0 delivery. He's on. Ball 4. They're pitching carefully to him. Tony Oliva, batting cleanup. Oliva batting .287. 17 homers, 83 RBIs. Sprays the ball all over. Left, center, right. The strategy is to jam him here with a long right field for him to shoot for. Don't pitch him outside and let him go to left with a short fence. And they're straight away. You can draw a string through home plate, second base, out to center fielder Reggie Smith. 2 down, Killebrew getting his lead at first. Curveball deep for a strike. It's cool today. Pitcher should stay strong. The light top coat feels comfortable in the stands. A 1-strike pitch. Strike 2. Oliva's in a hole now with 2 down, Killebrew at first, no score, top of the first inning. The end of 2 innings, the Tigers are leading the Angels 2-1. Most of you know they split yesterday. The Angels blew a 6-2 lead in the second game in the 8th inning. They'd have won both those games yesterday. All they needed was a split today to assure a tie. Now they have to win 2 to tie the winner of this game. There's the drive to left field. That one is well up there and off the wall. They may wave Killebrew in. Reggie Smith has a powerful arm. Here's the throw. Scott's got it. Throws wide. Coming over to third is Oliva. George Scott cut the ball off, and he had his man at the plate with a short throw, and as you saw, threw the ball over the head of the catcher, Russ Gibson. Killebrew, not a fast man, scored from first base. So the Twins take the lead 1-0. Here's the replay on it. And Pee Wee will pick it up and show you how the cutoff man, Scott, came over.
Well, you can see Yastrzemski stayed right with the ball. He thought he may have a chance. He hit about 3 feet above Yastrzemski. Reggie Smith, as Kurt said, has a very strong arm. And looks to me like he made a good throw. George Scott, the first baseman, came over, cut the ball off, and had the runner in plenty time. Now, here's Killebrew coming all along. See, he started to hold up a little bit, and Billy Martin, the coach, gave him the go-ahead sign. A bad throw, good throw would have had him.
All right, Bob Ellison's up. Gibson saving that one. Give Tony Oliva a double. Charge George Scott with an error for his overthrow at home. No RBI. The official score figured that Killebrew would not have scored with a good throw from Scott. Oliva on third, 2 down. Ellison takes a breaking pitch over. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ellison batting .258. He's had a comeback season. After 2 mediocre years, he's hitting 24 homers this year, 75 RBIs. Playing him as a pull hitter to left field. 2-1. If you've ever seen 2 bullpens jam today, fans, you're going to take a look at it. They have everybody out there they can get jammed in those bullpens. 2-1 to Bob Ellison. Goes after Lombard's slider to make it 2-2. Lombard's had trouble in this ballpark, his home park this year. He's won 8 and lost 5 here. On the road, he's won 13 and lost 4. And this is a tough park to pitch in. The 2-2 delivery. Foul back.
As you were talking, Lombard made 2 real good pitches to Oliva with 2 curveballs breaking in on him. And looks like he tried to sneak that fastball by him on the outside. He just wrapped that ball off of that green monster fence.
2-2 to Bob Ellison. Oliva at third, 2 down. Got a little high. 3-2 now. A left-handed batter, Ted Eulander's on deck. 3-2 pitch coming up. There's a fly ball hit out to Yastrzemski in the warning path, and the side's up. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left. In the middle of the first inning, it's the Twins 1 and the Red Sox coming to bat.
It's what's up front that counts. Up front ahead of the filter, only Winston has the good taste. That comes from Filter Blend. Yes, it's Winston's golden filter blend tobaccos that make Winston taste good like a cigarette should. Winston!
And now for you menthol smokers.
Winston comes up with a fresh idea. A Winston menthol in the super king size. An extra long cigarette. And it's the best tasting yet.
What a taste. What a combo. Winston and menthol. And in the super king size. Try new Winston menthol in the tall green and gold pack. 26-year-old Dean Chance, a farm boy from Worcester, Ohio, carries the Twins' hopes. Chance has won 20, lost 13. He has been tough against the Red Sox. He's beaten the Red Sox this year 4 times against 1 loss. And his lifetime record against Boston, combined with California and Minnesota, is 16-8. He has more lifetime wins against the Red Sox than against any other team in the league. Jerry Adair leading off for the Red Sox, batting .263. 3 homers, 37 RBIs. Well, the Twins scored in the first inning yesterday, had a 1-0 lead. They had the bases loaded, 1 out, couldn't get any more, and that hurt them. A ball. Chance throws hard, has a good slider, breaking pitch. You watch him, his motion is deceiving. He's hard to pick up the ball against. A lot of times he's looking up in the sky, it looks like. He's not watching the plate. As Sandy will tell you, most good pitchers have their eye right on the target. This fellow has anything but.
Kurt, Dean has a little bit of a different windup than most pitchers. He doesn't quite look at the plate, as you said. And it looks like he doesn't use his body at all. It looks like his body's going one way and his arm another. You see there, he doesn't have much of a follow-through, and, you sometimes wonder how Dean's gotten away without ever hurting his arm.
Adair, Jones, Yastrzemski, first 3 men up for the Red Sox. The count to Jerry Adair, 1-1. He's hit .290 since he came to the Red Sox in a trade from Chicago. And he's filled in at short, second, and third. Today they have him at second. A 1-1 pitch. 2-1. They say never change your lineup while you're winning. The Red Sox won yesterday, but Dick Williams changed it today. He took Mike Andrews out, put Adair at second, put Dalton Jones in at third. Williams is a hunch manager. Ground ball to Verzais. He'll have a long throw from the grass. It's there. Verzais has a very strong throwing arm. And that's the play when they scout a shortstop. That's what they look for, is that arm from the deep hole.
Yes, it is, Kurt. That's a real tough play. You can see Verzais, he made the play right. He braced that right foot, and that's the way you get something on the ball. That's one of the toughest plays that a shortstop has to make.
Here's a good little hitter, Dalton Jones, who's had trouble in the field. Batting .284. Strike in his last 31 times at bat here in this stretch drive. He's hitting .419 for the Red Sox. 2 games on their recent road trip. He had 4 hits in 1 game against the Tigers and 4 hits in another game against the Orioles. He's always swung a good bat. They've had trouble finding a place for him to play. The 1-strike pitch. Line drive. Up goes Rod Carew to take a base hit away from him. Well, that's 2 down. Rod Carew, the brilliant rookie second baseman of the Twins. Well, here's a fellow that's had about as great a year as a ball player can ever have. Carl Yastrzemski. Leads the league in batting, hitting .322. Leads the league in RBIs, 119. Tied for the lead in homers with 44. The best defensive left fielder in the game. Great arm. He's done it all. And he's hitting his best right now. He has a 8-game batting streak going at the close of the season. The strike. He and Killebrew tied for homers. We went in to talk to Carl about 1:15 here. He was taking a nap. He went in the equipment man's room and went to sleep. Off Chance's glove. He's on. Yastrzemski on first, 2 down. Batting cleanup is Ken Harrelson, hitting .258. 12 homers for the year, combined with the Red Sox and the A's. 52 RBIs. Since Tony Conigliaro injured his eye and has been out about 6 weeks, they've had trouble in his cleanup position. They hit George Scott. They're now dropped into number 5. Skremski has stolen 9 bases this year. 1-0, Minnesota leading, last of the first inning. Fans keeping him close. Time call, no pitch. Tigers are leading the Angels 2-1. The Angels are batting in the top of the third. Sparma against Wright. Willie Horton homered in the first, one on for the Tigers. Don Mincher for the Angels in the second, nobody on. There's a bounding ball. Carew flashing to his left. Makes the play. 2 good plays by Carew in that last of the first inning. And the Red Sox are all out. They had no runs, 1 hit, there were no errors, and 1 man left. At the end of the first inning, the score is the Twins 1 and the Red Sox nothing. Go to Tiger Stadium in Detroit for an audio update from Tony Kubek.
Thank you, Kurt Gowdy. The score still is 2-1 in favor of the Detroit Tigers here, with the Tigers at bat in the last of the third. Joe Sparma was in deep trouble in the top of the third inning when he loaded the bases due to his own error to put Hall on. But then a great play by Eddie Matthews at first base forced the runner at home plate, and then Rick Reichert hit into a hard double play. Dick Trzaskowski around the horn over to Matthews to end the inning. So the score is now 2-1 in favor of the Tigers. And now back to Kurt Gowdy in Boston.
Thank you, Tony. Ted Eulander has taken strike 1. There's a ball to him, 1-1. Eulander, Carew, and Zimmerman for the Twins here in the top of the second. Twins are ahead 1-0. Eulander made a stretch drive with a bat, bringing his average up about 30 points. He's hitting .258. Ball 2, 2-1. He has 6 homers, 49 RBIs. The 2-1 delivery. Foul out of play. Two. Gentleman Jim, they call Lomborg around here. Very quiet boy, studious. Good student at Stanford. Ball 3, 3-2, sharp dresser. Eulander lives in McAllen, Texas. Three and two. A foul out of play. Red Sox have already broken their all-time attendance record. There are the bullpens. Look at it. You've never seen so many pitchers. That's the Red Sox bullpen. And the Twins bullpen out in the right field area. Fly ball. Yastrzemski almost in his tracks waiting. That's his third foot out of the game. Rod Carew hoping to celebrate his birthday today with a Minnesota pennant. He's 22 years old. Today, he's hitting .294. He's hit right around that 300 clip all year long from the opening week when he got off to a good start. 8 homers, 51 RBIs. He was born in Panama, lives now in Brooklyn, New York. His 4th pro season, he's been an all-star in every league he's played in. The strike. Minnesota leading Boston 1-0 in the top of the second. Detroit leading California 2-1, last of the third, the first game of their doubleheader. Strike two. The Tigers have just scored another run. They're leading now 3-1, and they're still batting in the last of the third. Two-strike pitch. 1-2 to Rod Carew. You watch Lonborg carefully. If you see him up high now with his fastball or slider, he gets in trouble, like most sinker ball pitchers when they get up above the belt. He's got to stay down low. A 1-2 pitch. Grounded down to George Scott. Makes the play to Lonborg, and they're two down. Jerry Zimmerman, who originally was signed by the Red Sox for an $85,000 bonus. That was back in 1952. And here he is, battling against the club that originally signed him. Two down, nobody on. He hits it back to the box. Petrocelli in back of the bag up with it. Throws him out. And the Twins are out 1-2-3. So in the middle of the second, the score, the Twins won, and the Red Sox nothing. George Scott leading off for the Red Sox. We asked George before the game how he rated Dean Chance with some of the other pitchers in the American League.
Yeah, Coach, I think Dean Chance is one of the toughest right-handers in baseball, and for this league, I think he's toughest in this league. And he gives me a whole lot of trouble. I hit against him something like about 12 times this year, and I think I must have got about 3 or 4 base hits. He's real tough.
George Scott batting .305. He's going to wind up this year as a 300 hitter. 19 homers, 81 RBIs. Little pop-up. Arvin Killebrew one-handing it for the out. And Scott plays that first base in unbelievable fashion. This game is authorized under television rights granted by Major League Baseball solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is prohibited. Rico Petrocelli, batting .259. Ball one voted as the most underrated player in the Red Sox this year. Has 17 homers, 65 RBIs, and has been brilliant in the field. Playing him as a pull hitter to left. That ball is hit through the middle of center field for a base hit. Petrocelli's on. The Red Sox lead the American League in batting and home runs and runs scored. They've been a good hitting team all year. Here's another Red Sox rookie, Reggie Smith, hitting .251, 15 homers, 61 RBI. The batting champ of the International League last year. He's only 22 years old. He's from Los Angeles. Very young Red Sox team. Squibs it foul for a strike. The winner of this game clinches at least a tie for the pennant. The loser's gone. If the Tigers lose one today of their 2 scheduled games, the winner of this game is the winner. A fly ball, tough chance down the left field line, and this one is a foul ball. Just foul. Now, where those stands extend, our vision is blocked out here, and fans sitting behind the plate down the third base side and the left field side, their vision is blocked out. But umpire Honeychick at third, umpire Shylock behind the plate were right down the line, and both called it foul. Bob Allison edged a little more toward the left field line in left field. Dean Chance has Reggie Smith 2 strikes, 1 out. Petrocelli's at first. The Twins are ahead 1-0. Struck him out on a curveball. First strikeout for Chance. 2 down, Russ Gibson up. Gibson from Fall River, Massachusetts, batting .207, 1 homer, 14 RBIs. He spent 10 seasons in the minor leagues before coming up this year. Killebrew holding against Petroselli. There's a fly ball down the right field line. Oliva's over there in the corner for it. And that's all for the Red Sox in the last of the second. They had no runs, 1 hit, there were no errors, and 1 man left. At the end of the second inning, the score is the Twins 1 and the Red Sox nothing. Now let's go to Tiger Stadium in Detroit, an audio update from Tony Kubek.
Well, Kurt, in the last half of the third inning here in Detroit, they scored 3 runs. After 2 were out, Willie Horton lofted a high fly ball to left center field that Rick Reichert and Roger Repos got their signals messed up on. The ball dropped between them, then an intentional pass to Freehand, a single by Worth, and a key 2-run single by Eddie Matthews. So now the score is 5-1 in the last of the third. And now back to Kurt Gowdy in Boston.
Thank you, Tony. We'll be coming back to you and Jim Simpson throughout the game here. Dean Chance leading off for the Twins. A strike to him, one of the best pitchers in the game and one of the worst hitting pitchers. He's had 3 hits and 90 times up this year. Those 90 times up, he has struck out 50-some times. Strike 2. See what we mean?
Kurt, I don't know. Dean was never a good hitter, but when he put on my old number instead of his number 31 when they had with the Angels, it looks like it became worse.
2 strikes to him. All 1, 1 and 2. Zola Verzais is on deck at the top of the order, and then Cesar Tovar.
He just changed his stance right away. Landau getting ready to pitch the ball there. He's going to trick him.
Little strategy. A 1-2 pitch. And he's out. Strikeout for the pitcher, a put out for the catcher as he tries to bunt on the 3rd strike. And that's the first strikeout for Lombard. Now we go to the top of the Twins order and pick up Verzais, who flied to left his first time. He's batting .201. Play him just a step or 2 toward left. 1-0, the Twins ahead. Pops it up, may have room. Dalton Jones and Petroselli. It's Petroselli on the grab. 2 down. Jonesy was doing the Leaning Tower of Pisa job on that one. Tovar grounded out his first time. He's played 6 positions this year for the Twins. Been voted their most valuable player by his teammates. Hitting .268. A ball. Lombard, by the way, leads the majors in hitting batters this year. This stuff sometimes runs into a right-hander. A 1-0 pitch. All 2-0 to Tovar. Lombard has hit 19 batters, tops in the majors. The Red Sox record is hitting 20 batters. That was done by Howard Emke back in 23. A lot of the old-timers remember Howard Emke when Connie Mack started him in the World Series. As a surprise starter, as I remember, he struck out 13, 14 men against the Cubs. Ball 4. Tovar's on. Second walk given up by Lombard, and here's Killebrew up. He walked his first time. Killebrew batting .266. Minnesota has 1 run, 1 hit. Boston has no runs, 2 hits. Red Sox made an error that led to the Twins' run. Tovar has stolen 19 bases. He's a good base runner. And he gets back. Close play. They don't have a shift on now with a man on first, but Jerry Adair, the second baseman, is almost in back of the bag. The outfield swung way around toward left. This is the 3rd inning. The Red Sox are trailing Minnesota 1-0. A ball. Low slider. 1-0. Lomborg will probably try and pitch outside to Killebrew. Keep it away from his power here with a short left field fence. A base hit into left field. Yastrzemski lets the ball go through his legs. You got a fast man, Tovar, coming on. He's rounding third. He'll be in to score. And the Twins have a 2-0 lead. And Killebrew winds up at second. An error charged to Yastrzemski. Killebrew gets a single, no RBI, and the usual reliable Yastrzemski let that ball go through him. And twice now the Red Sox have made errors in the field, which has allowed runners to score from first base after 2 out. And the Twins are ahead 2-0. Oliva double off the wall in the first inning. Hitting .288. They're going to put him on and pitch to the right-hander, Bob Allison. Ball 2 to Tony Oliva. Bob Rogers has homered for the Angels in the 4th inning at Tiger Stadium. It is now 5-2 in favor of the Tigers. Well, if the Tigers win the first game, they'll be going into that second game with a chance to tie the winner of this game for the pennant. I wonder who they'll pitch out there in that second game, Pee-wee.
Well, I heard that they would probably pitch Denny McLain, and someone, Kurt, was telling us during the season that if they had to win one game, the Detroit Ball Club, they'd like to see Denny McLain pitch it. Well, he may get that opportunity in the second game today.
Rick Clark is scheduled to go for the Angels. Strike 1 to Bob Allison, who flied out to left field his first time. Killebrew's at second, Oliva's at first. There are 2 outs, 1 run in for the Twins in the top of the 3rd. And now Lomborg's ahead of him, 0-2. Were turned on in the first inning here. Right now the sun is coming through also. Allison the batter. 2 strikes on him, 2 down, runners on first and second. Struck him out on 3 pitches. Well, the strategy paid off. 1 run for Minnesota, 1 hit, 1 Red Sox error. The Twins left 2. In the middle of the 3rd, it's Minnesota 2 and Boston nothing. The Twins have at least 1 fan in Michigan today, 11-year-old boy named David Bruce, who used to live in Minneapolis, pulling hard for them from his home in Battle Creek, Michigan. We want to send him our best. Commissioner Eckert. That's his publicity aide there, Joe Reichler, with him, and Senator Edward Brooke, the Commonwealth. And here's Jim Lomborg leading off for the Red Sox. Last of the 3rd inning. Dean Chance on the mound for the Twins. Strike to Lomborg. Lomborg batting 126. He's won a couple of games for himself with his bat, though. There's a little pop on a check swing, and that one's in. Lomborg loops it into right. Red Sox had a couple of hits like that yesterday. Top of the order coming up, Jerry Adair grounded out in the first inning. Bobby Dorr, the first base coach, wants to Lomborg wants something. I think he wants his cap brought out. Take his batting helmet off.
I think the Minnesota dugout's trying to get Killebrew to play behind the runner, Kurt.
The step off the bag. Now there's Cal Irmer, Minnesota manager. No manager's ever taken over midway of a season and won a pennant. Sam Mealy started the year. He was released by the Twins, and Irmer came up to take the club over. Ground ball, perfect double play ball to Carew. One Versailles to first for the double play. Taylor made all the way. Carew to Versailles to Killebrew. 2 down for the Red Sox, nobody on. And Dalton Jones up. He lined out his first time. Batting .282. Dalton Jones from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Yastrzemski on deck. Minnesota ahead. 2-0 lasted the third. There's a ball hit sharply to Carew. He stabs it with a sure pair of hands. Throws him out. And that's it. Twice Jones has hit the ball hard now to second base. No base hits to show, though. No runs, 1 hit. There were no errors. Nobody left. At the end of the third inning, Minnesota 2 and Boston nothing. Thank you. See sports schedule, both coming up the first 2 weeks of November. On November 4th and 5th, the Hawaiian Open, live and in color from Honolulu, the first live color sports event ever telecast by satellite from Hawaii. And then on November 11th, from Washington, D.C., the International Horse Race in Laurel, Maryland. The best foreign horses in the world against the United States thoroughbreds. Ted Eulander fouls it off, strike 1. Eulander flied to left his first time. Batting .257. The Twins have 2 runs, 2 hits. The Red Sox, no runs, 3 hits. The Red Sox have made 2 costly errors. Trying to bunt his way on. Strike 2. Rod Carew's on deck, and then Jerry Zimmerman. Rod Carew. Lomborg's 2-strike pitch. A little bit high. 1-2. One-two pitch. Outside, 2-2. Nobody on, nobody out. Twins batting in the top of the 4th. Foul back. Remember the World Series will be seen on NBC television, heard on NBC radio. Jim Lemon coaching at first for the Twins. Billy Martin at third. A couple of former American League stars. There's a high fly ball to deep right field. Harrelson has room. Smith there. Calls him off and makes the grab. It shows you this is no easy ballpark for a left-handed batter here. That ball's hit a long ways, about 390, but it was an out. It's different to left field. Long right field here. Rod Carew grounded out his first time. Batting .294. Jerry Zimmerman on deck. Straight away for Carew. In there for a strike is Jim Lomborg. Lomborg leads the American League in strikeouts. Ball and strike. He has struck out 2 so far. He now has 243 strikeouts. Jim Bunning leads the National League. He has 243. 1-1 pitch. Petrocelli up with it beautifully. The throw in time. He's got him. Rico Petrocelli taking a base hit away from Rod Carew. 2 down for the Twins, and Jerry Zimmerman up. He grounded out his first time. The Twins are ahead 2-0 in the fourth. The ball, talking about Bunning. Bunning is due to pitch today in San Francisco. Bills will close their season out there, and Bunning, of course, with some strikeouts today, can win the strikeout leadership of the majors. Pounding ball to Petrocelli again. And that's it for the Twins. They're all gone in the fourth. 3 up, 3 down in the middle of the fourth. The score, the Twins 2 and the Red Sox nothing. Well, if you don't think this fellow's had some kind of year, Carl Yastrzemski leads the American League in runs scored and base hits, in RBIs. He's tied for home runs. He leads the league in total bases, batting percent, and slugging percent. He leads the Red Sox in 11 offensive departments. And leads the American League in 7 offensive departments. He singled his first time up. He's now batting .323. Oh, he's on his way to his second American League batting championship. Ken Harrelson on deck, and then George Scott. Dean Chance. Foul off, strike one. You fans who have never seen Yastrzemski play before across the country, he takes one of the most vicious cuts in baseball. He won his first American League batting title in 1963 when he hit .321. There's his leadership in RBIs over the closest man, Killebrew. There's a drive hit to deep left field. That ball is off the wall. Allison pegs into second, and Yastrzemski's got a double. First, it held the ball up. That's the way he used to hit, to the opposite field about 75% of the time. And that's where the left field fence used to help him. This year, he's turned into a full hitter. Bobby Doerr coaching at first for the Red Sox, Ed Kowalski at third. Ken Harrelson the batter. Harrelson grounded out his first time. The Red Sox now have out-hit the Twins 4-2. The Twins are ahead 2-0. A ball to Harrelson. Out at Tiger Stadium, the Angels fail to score in the 5th inning. The Tigers lead the Angels 5-2. Tigers batting last of the 5th, first game of their doubleheader. High fly to right field. Yastrzemski is tagging. Oliva with a grab. Yastrzemski's not coming. The throw is to Verzais, the shortstop. One away. Red Sox 2 runs behind, playing it safe. George Scott's up now. He popped up his first time. In football, Miami Dolphins, New York Jets, no score. The end of the first quarter. In the NFL, the Steelers and Eagles 7-7 at the end of the first quarter. Baltimore leads the 49ers 10-0 into the first quarter. Green Bay over Atlanta 7-0 into the first quarter. And the surprising Detroit Lions lead the Cardinals 14-0 into the first quarter. The Tigers just scored another run in their 5th inning. They lead the Angels 6-2 now in the 5th. A ball to Scott, and the Tigers are still batting. We'll keep repeating the circumstance. If the Tigers win 2 games today, they will tie the winner of this game for the pennant. The Tigers split today, or lose 1 is all they have to do. They're out of it, and the winner of this game is the American League pennant winner. 2-0 to George Scott. Dean Chance didn't like that call. And we'll repeat again, never in the history of the American League have 3 teams gone to the last day of the season with a chance to win the pennant. The 2-0 pitch. Oh, he hit one yesterday, a line drive way up in the center field bleachers. 2-1 to Scott. Batting .304. Yastrzemski at second, 1 out. Vaselli's on deck. 2-1 delivery. 3-1 now. Good control so far, but now he's behind Scott. Three-one pitch. Foul back, and we go to 3-2 on George Scott. Yastrzemski at second, 1 away. Ball hit to Chance, throws to Verzage, double play. Chance just caught that ball in the webbing of his glove. Watch this one. Dean Chance. Yeah, Yastrzemski get a base hit off his glove in the first inning, but he held onto that liner. That was ticketed back to the box in the center field. Might have scored Yastrzemski. So the Red Sox, no runs, 1 hit, there were no errors, nobody left, and in the end of the 4th inning here at Fenway Park, Twins 2 and Red Sox nothing. We're going now to the 5th inning. Dean Chance took a strike, and to carry you along here with play-by-play, Pee Wee Reese.
Okay, Mr. Gotti, there's Dean Chance. There'll be a replay on that last line drive. You can see it was a bang-bang job, and the shortstop cutting right in back of Yastrzemski. Yastrzemski, evidently, of course, he did think that the ball was through there. And Dean Chance, after making that fine play, is the first hitter. And this may be one of the world's worst-looking hitters. Watch this. Got an eye like an eagle. 2-2 is the count on Dean Chance. The Twins lead in this ball game by a score of 2-0. They scored 1 in the first and 1 in the third. This is the day. As Dean Chance bails out of that left foot a little bit, Lundberg gets his 3rd strikeout. Lundberg has pitched well enough for this game to be tied, because the 2 runs that they scored were both on arrows. Versailles batting an even 200. Today he fired out to left field and popped up to the shortstop. The catcher, Gibson, giving the signs. Moves a little outside with the target, too far outside by Lundberg. Dick Williams, the manager for the Red Sox, and there he's pitching coach, the great pitcher for the Giants and the Dodgers, Sal Magley. And he told me something yesterday. It's quite a tribute to the left fielder, Carl Yastrzemski. Boy, Versailles had a good swing at that one. saying that he had been around baseball for a long time and seen a lot of baseball players, but this is the greatest year by a ball player he's ever seen, Carl Yastrzemski, in every phase of the game. And that's quite a compliment, because Magley does not have too much to say as a rule.
Not too many compliments.
Jim Lombard, a count of 2-2 on the little shortstop Versailles. Just missed with the curveball. He'll be followed by Cesar Tovar, who walked his last time up. There's a good shot of the catcher. Little tap out to the shortstop. Petroselli's had a busy day. Flips the ball over to George Scott. Let's pause now for station identification.
KNBC Channel 4, Los Angeles.
Cesar Tovar, 2 up and 2 down here in the top half of the 5th inning, but the Red Sox trail in this game by a score of 2-0. Detroit leads California by a score of 6-2 after 5. Detroit must win both games to get in a playoff in this American League. If they split, the winner of this game wins the American League pennant race. 1 ball, 1 strike on Tovar. This fella has played everywhere. Ball hit to Dalton Jones at third. The flip over to George Scott, and that's all for Tovar, and that's all for the Twins here in the top half of the 5th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. And the score after 4.5 innings of play, it's still Minnesota 2, the Red Sox nothing. Now let's go to Tiger Stadium in Detroit for an audio update from Jim Simpson. Come on in, Jim.
All right, Pee Wee, and thank you very much. The Tigers have added a run in the last of the 5th. Kaline led off with a single, but overran first base and was thrown out. Willie Horton came back with a double. Freehan singled him home. Horton has now scored 3 runs, and Freehan has driven in a couple, as has Willie. Scored now with 2 out in the Angels' 6th is California 2, but Detroit 6. Now back to you, Pee Wee, in Boston.
Thank you, Jim. The first hitter here at Fenway Park, Rico Petroselli, the shortstop. He's 1 for 1 today, and he's had a busy day in the field. Made some fine plays. There's a ball popped up out into center field. Ted Uhliner couldn't pick it up right away. Comes in and takes it. They tell me that at this time of the year, and Kurt probably knows this because he did the games here for 15 years, latter part of September, the 1st of October, this is a real bad sun field. In fact, the sun even gives the second baseman a little trouble.
That's it, Pee Wee, and it comes right over the rim of Fenway Park here, which is not a high park, but it's murderous out there in center and right.
Reggie Smith. He struck out his only time up today.
Of course, they don't worry about the shadows here too much. The stands aren't that high like they are in Yankee Stadium and some of these other stadiums around.
Dean Chance has been hit hard a couple times today, but right at someone. He jammed Reggie Smith. Tovar, the third baseman, takes it in foul territory. Chance is the type of pitcher, that good fastball of his, tries to keep it in on the right-handed hitters and throw that slider out over the plate. Lee Stang warming up for the Red Sox. The 8th place hitter, Russ Gibson, the catcher. Curveball by Dean Chance gets the outside corner, strike 1. We have 2 away, and the Red Sox trail by a score of 2-0. Outside, 1-1. Both George Scott, Ken Harrelson talking about Chance. If he keeps that slider on the outside part of that plate, you try to pull him, you're in trouble. You have to go back through the middle and the right field with him. a good shot of the crowd here today, and they've had this stands filled many times.
Someone figured, Pee Wee, that they've drawn 70% of the capacity all season, which is almost unheard of.
You can see Dean Chance walk over that mound. He thought he had him. Gibson started. He checked his swing. Mr. Lester Shylock, the umpire, said no, he didn't go around on it. 2-2's the count on Russ Gibson. He got him on that one. And that's all for the Red Sox here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. The score after 5 full innings, Minnesota still 2 and the Boston Red Sox nothing. 5.5. Let's pause now for station identification.
Western excitement on the High Chaparral tonight at 10, 9 Central Time.
Union Oil's 76 jackpot is back, bigger than ever. Play 76 Jumbo Jackpot. Win up to $5,000 over 360,000 cash prizes. Pick up a 76 Jumbo Jackpot ticket every time you see your participating Union Oil dealer. Win up to $5,000.
Extraordinary. Western Airlines, the only way to fly.
Top half the 6th inning. The Twins lead in this game by a score of 2-0. They only have 2 hits off this fella, Jim Lonborg, and there's the big fella right there that has one of them. He's been instrumental in both runs. He walked in the first inning. He scored a run on an error by George Scott, who had cut off the throw from Reggie Smith, and he tossed it over Gibson's head. Then in the 3rd inning, Killebrew got a base hit. Armin Killebrew, first pitch to him, outside. They'll be careful with him. They will not try to give him a good pitch to hit. To keep the ball away from him. Two and 0 is the count on Harmon Killebrew, leading things off here for the Twins in the top half of the 6th inning. Now let's see what he does. He may get the hit sign from Billy Martin coaching at third base. There's Billy. You can see something he's doing there is the sign. May be backing up right now. It looked like he was ready to cut down on that 3-0 pitch. It was high and inside, and that's the 4th walk given up by Lonborg. Tony Oliva. What's he done? He doubled in the first inning. And he walked his last time up. That's the 131st base on ball for Killebrew. He leads the league. Lee Stang still throwing in the bullpen for the Red Sox. Lonborg shakes his head, says that's not the pitch he wants. As we talked about yesterday, Oliva, there's Lee Stang, little right-hander. Oliva is quite a long way away from that plate, as you'll notice when he goes back up there. But they still try to pitch him inside. You get that ball out over that plate, which he looks like he can't reach. That's the ball he lines in the left field, as he did in the first inning off the scoreboard. See, he has to lean over to reach the outside part of that plate. It's way outside.
Here we have a situation right now in this ballpark. Yesterday they were roaring on every pitch. The Red Sox tied early and then went ahead. Right now, this ballpark's like a morgue with the Red Sox trailing by 2 runs. Of course, they'll come alive, but it's very quiet here compared to yesterday.
In there for call strike 2. Oliva looking at Nestor Shalak like he couldn't believe it. Yes, sir, Kurt, they really did. The fans here yesterday, they had some life. Of course, they had a little bit more to cheer about. We're only in the 6th inning, though. That pitch is high and outside. Makes the count 2-2. There's no one away. Harmon Killebrew on at first base. Lonborg all the way for the Red Sox. Dean Chance all the way for the Twins. Just got the outside corner, caught him looking. That's the 4th strikeout by Big Jim, Gentleman Jim. Brings up Bob Allison. And he was one of the strikeouts his last time up. Bob batting .257. A good ripple at that one, but no contact. Bob Allison has 24 home runs. He's a big fellow. 75 runs batted in. Wears those pants high. They try to keep the ball down on him. Watch that catcher. Kind of get an indication. Or they try to pitch a hitter sometime. Of course, he doesn't always hold true. Sometimes he holds that target inside, and the pitcher will pitch at his right knee. Giving the signs. A real fine pitch to Lonborg, keeping that ball down and away on Allison. So Oliva and Bob Allison both looking at a 3rd strike. That is the 5th strikeout for Lonborg. Brings up Ted Uhlander, the center fielder. Flied out to left and flied out to center field. He's 0 for 2. Uhlander batting .257. Ball hit off to the left, back up in the stands. It makes a man very happy. End of the 6th inning. Over Detroit. The Tigers lead the Angels by a score of 6-2. Detroit must win both games to get in the playoff with the club that wins this game right here. There's a ball hit out into right field. Ken Harrelson underneath it and takes it for out number 3. That's all for the Twins here in the top half of the 6th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. So the score after 5.5 innings of play, it's still the Twins 2 and the Red Sox nothing. Jim Lonborg leading things off for the Red Sox. Dean Chance is just ready to pitch, and Bob Allison is about 30 yards from his position in left field. Still walking to his position. And the umpire, Shalak, caught him. He punts one down to 3rd baseline. They're going to have to hurry if Lonborg gets himself another base hit. How about that? The Red Sox have 5 hits. Putting on a jacket down at first base has 2 of them, the pitcher. Now then the fans come alive as the pitcher starts things off with a base hit here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. The Red Sox trail by a score of 2-0. Jerry Adair, 2 Killebrew trying to get Dean Chant's attention that he's going to be playing in back of the pitcher, Jim Lundberg. He will not hold him on at first base. So much noise. Rod Carew, the second baseman, went in and told him. Adair, the last time up, hit into a double play with Lundberg on at first. Jim taking a short lead. You can see Killebrew in back of him at first base. Ball right back to the middle. It's a base hit. Lundberg, will he try to go to third? No, sir. He holds up as Uhlander charges that ground ball on at first base. Jerry Adair. The Red Sox have something going. Well, as Kurt mentioned a while ago, he said the fans been kind of dead here today. Well, they're not dead now. Talking to his catcher, Jerry Zimmerman. Talking to Dean before the game, he had a telegram from his friend. They were very close friends, Rick Reichert over at California. They're playing in Detroit today, you know, and he says, Dean, good luck to you. You take care of the Red Sox, we'll take care of the Tigers. I will have to wait and see. Will Dick Williams sacrifice in this situation? You can see Versailles holding him on. He punched the ball, Dalton Jones, off to the left. Don't be surprised if Dick Williams changes. There's Jerry Adair at first base, Jim Lundberg down at second. Warming up for the Twins is the big right-hander, Al Worthington, in the bullpen. Dick Williams may switch over and let Dalton Jones hit away. He did. He hit the ball right by. Pull ball out into left field. Bob Allison charged that ground ball and held Jim Lundberg on at third base. Al Armour coming out to talk to his pitcher, Dean Chant. Williams, the manager of the Red Sox. You could just see Cal Armour tell Dean Chance, if that ball's hit back to you, go home with it. And would you believe the base is loaded? The Red Sox trail by a score of 2-0. Base is loaded, and who is the hitter? Carl Yastrzemski. Yastrzemski has a single and a double today. He takes the first pitch, it's inside, ball one. This is the first serious trouble. On at third base, Lombard. Second base, Adair. First base, Dalton Jones. This is the first trouble that Dean Chance has really been in today. The fans are going wild. Yastrzemski base hit out into center field. That'll score 2 runs. Dalton Jones going to third. Here's Adair coming in to score the tying run. The throw came into second base. But the runners are on at first and third. Well, you saw that sign there. Bring on St. Louis. The hitter with Runners on first and third, no one out. Ball outside. The infield is in. On at third base, Dalton Jones. Over at first base, Paul Yastrzemski. Got the outside corner. There's the pitch that he and George Scott was talking about. That slider or curveball getting that outside corner. Don't try to pull it. This game is all tied up. It's the Red Sox that come up with 2 big runs here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. A good sink of a chance. 1 ball and 2 strikes. This game is for all the marbles. They have been playing all year, and it's boiled down to 1 game. Way outside, 2-2. Dean Chance, looking for his 21st win of the year. On at third base, that's Dalton Jones. At first base, Paul Yastrzemski. No one out, and the Red Sox have 2 runs in. Jerry Zimmerman, the catcher. Ball inside. Versailles, the shortstop, in to talk to Dean Chance. Well, Dick Williams, the manager of the Red Sox, have Yastrzemski moving on his 3-2 pitch to stay out of the double play. Or will he let him stay there as Harrelson struck out a couple times yesterday. Does not want to be taken out of a big inning here. We'll wait and see. The count 3-2 on Ken Harrelson. There goes Yastrzemski. High hopper. That's a hurt. Versailles comes home with it. He has no chance. Now let's take a look at this. That was a high hopper to Versailles. Watch this now. Ken Harrelson chomps this ball down in front of the plate. Look at that. A real high hopper, and Versailles elects to go home with the ball, and he surprised everyone, and everyone is safe.
He had only 1 man he could have gotten there, Pee Wee, and that was Harrelson at first. Yastrzemski was already in the second, as you fans saw. The Twins made mistakes yesterday and gave up about 4 runs to the Red Sox. Right now, a new pitcher coming on. That's all for Chance. He'll score that one a fielder's choice.
New pitcher, Al Worthington. Al Ermer, number 43, the manager of the Twins. There's a break in the action here at Fenway Park. The score, Boston 3, Minnesota 2.
In a few hours, this plane will be filled with secretaries, families, and businessmen, all starting on the shrimp cocktail at 600 miles per hour. The jet age. But to American Airlines, there's more to flying than a glamorous lunch 7 miles in the sky. In this room is the largest business computer in the world, just to make sure of your reservation, the menu you want, your fare plan, your connecting airlines, and whether you want a rental car waiting. $40 million to keep you from getting the lobster if you ask for a roast beef sandwich. We built American with a professional traveler in mind. For old hands like this, you don't run an airline on glamour alone.
Al Worthington has completed his warm-up pitches. The hitter is George Scott. We have a runner for Ken Harrelson at first base in Jose Tartabull. That will kind of set the scene for you. We're in the bottom half of the sixth inning, still no one out. The Red Sox have come up with 3 runs to go ahead in this ball game by a score of 3-2. We have runners on first and second, still no one out, and they have big George the Great Scott. Petroselli, the shortstop, wants to talk to him. Well, Dick Williams, bunt Yastrzemski and Tartabull over, or we let the big Scott swing away as he calls for, I believe he calls it a tater, doesn't he, Kurt?
A long tater.
He calls a home run a long tater. There's Dick Williams, manager of the Red Sox. Al Worthington taking over for Dean Chance. The ball gets away from Jerry Zimmerman. Going to third, Paul Yastrzemski. Down to second, Jose Tartabull. There's Al Worthington. The first pitch to George Scott. He squared around like he was going to bunt. He doesn't have to worry about it now. They have some action in both bullpens. And Rowan warming up for the Twins. John Wyatt and Brett warming up for the Red Sox. Tartabull at second. Yastrzemski at third. George Scott the hitter. Curveball in there. Call strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Worthington has been around for quite a long time. That was a wild pitch chalked up against Al. Curveball. Swung on and missed. Tigers are leading California over Detroit by a score of 6-2 after 7. At third base, Yastrzemski at second base, Tartabull. The score over Detroit is now 6-4 as California has come up with 2. Ball gets away from Zimmerman. Yastrzemski comes in to score. Moving over to third is Tartabull. To score the 4th run in this inning, and the 4th run in the ball game for the Boston Red Sox. And the Twins right now, let's face it, they are not playing good ball. And the Red Sox have been taking advantage of it the last 2 days. George Scott goes fishing for a wide sweeping curve. Strikes him out. Over at Detroit. Don Mincher. I believe that's his second home run of the game. Hit a home run in the 6th inning with a man on, and the score, as I told you, now 6-4. Ladding coming in the pitch for the Detroit Tigers. You know, Sparma started that game. The Tigers blew a 6-2 lead last night in that second game of the doubleheader. In the 8th inning, they were leading. Petroselli is the hitter. for a squeeze play there. You can see Zimmerman had Al Worthington pitch out. On at third base, that's Tartabull. Keep an eye on him. They may try to squeeze him. Petrucelli takes that pitch inside, ball 2. The infield is in. Third base and shortstop you can see on the screen, and the second baseman. Count 2-0. Tartabull with a sharp lead at third base. 3-0. Worthington came in to relieve Dean Chance, made 2 wild pitches. It hurt a little bit. Tartabull up the line, and Petrucelli got the green light on a 3-0 pitch. Makes the count 3-1. Petrucelli 1 for 2. Got a base hit in the second inning. Tartabull edges off with that tag. Curveball outside. See, here comes Early Wynn. He's the pitching coach for Cal Lermer, the Minnesota Twins. Going to have a little huddle on the mound. Quite a pitcher. He won 300 games, didn't he?
Yes, sir. One of the best in the history of the American League. Started with the Senators, the Indians, the White Sox, back to the Indians again. Early Wynn.
Let's take a look now. There he is. One of the great ones. Take a look at the infield now for the Twins. I don't imagine he'll be back at double play depth. With Reggie Smith, he'd be a hard man to double. Now Rod Carew is playing in. Try to cut this one off at home. Worthington down low in the dirt again. But Zimmerman blocked this one. Tartabull at third. At first base, Rico Petrucelli. Reggie Smith with that closed stance of his. He's a switch hitter. Foul tip. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's getting a little dark here. A little overcast. This game is official now. We're in the 6th inning. Tartabull leads off a third. Takes the pitch, it's too low. Don't be surprised, as Al Worthington, don't be surprised if Reggie Smith gets on. We may see a pinch hitter for Russ Gibson. The fair ball hits Killebrew in the knee, and Tartabull comes in to score the 5th run in this inning. There was a line shot by Reggie Smith. Killebrew tries to block the ball. He did block it, hit him in the knee, and bounced too far away from him to get Reggie Smith. There's Harmon going back to his position. And we're going to have a pinch hitter. For Russ Gibson, it'll be Norm Seaburn. And Killebrew gets an error on that last ball hit by Reggie Smith. And has this been a big inning for the Red Sox? Still only 1 out. And it was all started by a pitcher, the name of Jim Lombard, who has 2 hits in this game. He bunted one down the third base line and beat it out. Norm Seaburn batting for Russ Gibson. Elson Howard over the dugout putting on the shin guards, the catching equipment. He'll be the new catcher. on first and second. In there, call strike one. Seaborn batting 178. I think he originally came up with the Yankees. He went to Kansas City in the Roger Maris deal. Roger Maris came to the Yankees. Seaborn went to Kansas City. One ball, one strike on Seaborn. Worthington has been low and outside. The 1-1 pitch. Seaborn. Kind of uppercutted that ball. At second base, Petroselli at first base, Reggie Smith. Time is called by Nestor Charlock. Still only one away. 5 runs in by the Red Sox here. They lead 5-2 in this ball game. Low and outside. Count is 2-2. The next hitter will be Jim Lombard. He may get a chance to get 2 hits in 1 inning. Petroselli and Reggie Smith. The count is 3-2. They may be running with the pitch with 1 away. To try to stay out of the double play. Watch Petroselli at the top of your screen there. See if he goes. Taking too much of a lead. If they strike him out, they'll have a good shot at throwing him out at third. There he goes. Ball hit out to Rod Carew. Only play to Killebrew at first base. So they get 2 away and brings up Jim Lombard. The pitcher, he'll get quite a hand. Today, he's kind of settled down since the start of this game. It looks like it may be a little rough the rest of the way in. As Kurt told you, this fella is not a bad hitter. He's won some important games with his hit. After 7.5 innings, at the end of 7. Lombard pops one up. Rod Carew takes it for the final out. But not before. The Red Sox score 5 runs on 4 hits, 1 error, and 2 men left on base. So after 6 full innings, Red Sox 5, Minnesota 2.
Now Carl Yastrzemski is finishing up the season championship fashion. He's had 3 for 3 today. He's knocked in 2 runs. Leads the league in batting, RBIs, tied for the lead in home runs. Frank Robinson, a Triple Crown winner last year, 10 years before we had one. From Mantle, 56 to Robinson last year. Ball 1. Yastrzemski is now hitting .325. Raised his average 3 points in this game. Runners Runners on first and second, nobody out. Red Sox ahead 5-2, last of the seventh. Ball two. The Red Sox have not won a pennant since 1946. They've had the stars here. Tom Yawkey spent the money. He's done everything to get a winner. But the last 5 years, the Red Sox have been a lowly second division ball club. And suddenly, everything fell into place this season. The 2-0 pitch. Curveball hit in the air to right field. Fourth hit in a row. They're holding Adair up. Yastrzemski is now 4 for 4 in the game.
Kurt, he's not only made a believer out of Sal Maglie, he's made a believer out of Pee Wee. I believe he is some kind of a ball player.
Well, he's the old man in the ball club. He's 27 years old. Cal Irmer walking out. Jose Tartabull will be the next batter. And Irmer was wondering, what can I do? The game is all over in Detroit. The Tigers have won the first game 6-4. And now, the Tigers, if they win the second game, will tie the winner of this game for the pennant. If. Jim Grant's been warming up out there in the Twin bullpen. And also Hernandez. Red Sox now has slashed out 11 hits in this game, the 2 for the Twins. Yastrzemski, by the way, after his 4th consecutive hit, is now hitting .326. Jim Grant, who just 2 years ago was a 20-game winner. Had a bad knee that's bothered him. Well, the Red Sox had 5 hits in a row to start off the 6th without anybody going out. Now they've had 3 hits in a row here in the last of the 7th. They sting the ball. Kurt Gowdy, Pee Wee Reese, and Sandy Koufax again. There's the final of the Tigers and Angels in their first game. 6-4 Tigers. They'll be starting in about 20 minutes from now, the second game at Tiger Stadium, Detroit. And the cities of Boston and Minnesota are one of the cities, and the fans of that city's major league team across America will be sitting and standing by waiting to see what finally happens this evening and who's going to represent the American League. Jose Tartabull hits it down to Killebrew. He comes home with it. Go back to first, and they've got a double play. 3-2-3. That makes it 2 down. With runners on second and third. Batter is George Scott.
That was quick.
It didn't take long. When you double Tartabull up, you're doubling a man up who can run the 100 in around 9.6. George Scott down 0 for 3. Runners on second and third, 2 down. Grant's in there with a strike. Dalton Jones at third, Carl Yastrzemski at second. Now back at strike 2 to George Scott. The Twins in their 8th inning will have the top of the order up. Resize, Tovar, and Killebrew. Jim Grant won 5 and lost 6. This is his 27th appearance. The outfield straight away for Scott. Struck him out. Grant did a great job in relief, coming in with the bases loaded, nobody out, and getting the Twins out of that jam. In the 7th, the Red Sox had no runs, 3 hits. There were no errors and 2 men left. And at the end of 7, it's the Red Sox 5 and the Twins 2.
Great job.
Makes it 2 down, runners on first and second, and Bob Ellison up. Flying out, struck out twice, 0 for 3. Playing Ellison deep and over toward left. He's got a base hit. That ball's headed out in the corner. Gillibru's coming in to score. Oliva's going to third. The throw comes to second. And he's out. They got him at second base. Bob Allison trying to go in there. Is thrown out. And the rally is ended. They were 2 runs behind when he went in there. Oliva's at third. And he just stands there wondering what happened. Inning. We'll recap it later. The score, Boston 5 and Minnesota 3. Recapping the 8th again, Ellison singled. Gillibru scored. Ellison tried to go for 2, was thrown out as Oliva was standing on third. Now let's go to Tiger Stadium in Detroit for an audio update from Jim Simpson.
All right, Kurt, and as you've already said, Detroit won this important game 6-4, and perhaps the man of the hour in the late innings was Fred Gladding, who came out of the bullpen, faced 7 men over the last 2 innings, and retired 6 of them to save the win for Joe Sparma. And Eddie Matthews had a 2-run single. Willie Horton scored 3 times, had a 2-run home run, and now it's all up to the last game, and the pitchers are already warming up. Danny McLean for Detroit, Rich Clark for the Angels, as we go back to Kurt Gowdy in Boston.
Thank you, Jim Simpson. Last of the 8th inning, Rico Petrocelli. We're going to have to recap this for you with all our switching back and forth. Petrocelli fouls it back. Rico has single, flied out, and walked. 1 out of 2. Well, the Twins had 4 hits there in the 8th inning and got 1 run. Reese singled, and Tovar hit into a double play. Killebrew singled. Oliva singled. The ball. Ellison hit that ball into the left field corner. Killebrew scored. Oliva went to third, and Ellison tried to go to second and was thrown out by Carl Yastrzemski. With a deadly throwing arm. He's been throwing runners out ever since he came into the league. Sounding ball to third is fair. Tovar plays it across in time, and there's 1 down. Ellison had held first. Oliva would have been on third. The tying runs would have been on, and Eulander would have been the batter. There are the standings right now. This is a 3-way tie as of right now. But of course, it's going to change when this one's over. Reggie Smith has struck out, fouled out, reached in an error. Ball 1 to him from Jim Grant. Rich Reese is in left field now for the Twins. Jackie Hernandez is at short. 2-0 to Reggie Smith. Elston Howard on deck for the Red Sox. 5-3, Red Sox leading, last of the 8th. Back on the counts, 2-1. Foul back again. 35,770 is the crowd here today. They just couldn't put another person in here. And the Red Sox final home attendance, 1,793,846. Their all-time home record. In a ballpark that seats, they nearly drew 2 million here in a ballpark that seats 33,000. Two and two. were still buzzing about the top of the 8th when the Twins had 4 hits and got 1 run. Now back on the count, 2-2 to Reggie Smith. The Twins' last chance in the 9th inning. They'll have Eulander to lead it off. Carew and Nixon. Gary Bell, Gary Wozlewski are warming up in the Red Sox bullpen in case Lombard runs into trouble. Foul back again, the count 2-2 to Reggie Smith. To Grant. Line drive. 2 down. And Elston Howard up for the first time. Here's a replay of this big play of Bob Ellison here in the 8th inning. Now there's a ball hit into the left field corner. Yastrzemski is chasing it down. Killebrew has scored the 3rd run for the Twins. Olivas the 3rd. And as you saw, Yastrzemski fired into Mike Andrews. They had the ball waiting for Ellison as he slid into 2nd. That was the 3rd out. Elston Howard singles to right. So Howard's on. Lombard will be up. He'll get a big hand. Standing ovation for him. Talking about Yastrzemski earlier. Pee-wee told you what Sal Magley said. He's played on championship teams. He's never seen a player have an all-around year like Yastrzemski has this year. Also, everybody looks at his home runs and his RBIs and his batting average. But unless you watch him play, you don't know how good defensively he is. And he just showed you by making that unbelievable throw out of the left field corner to nail Ellison trying to go to 2nd. Against an ordinary left fielder, Ellison would have been in there easily with a double. 2 balls, no strikes. Ground ball to shortstop. Hernandez over to Carew for the force, and we're going to the 9th inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. At the end of the 8th inning, the Red Sox 5 and the Twins 3.
Oh, he's not going anywhere. It's his day for Dodge Fever. Gee, hope nobody had any money on him.
The odds are with this one. 1968 Dodge Coronet 500. One look is all you need, and you've got the fever that's fun to catch. Even more fun to cure. Coronet 500. Infectiously beautiful. Luxury to make your head spin. Deep cushion buttons. All vinyl interiors with padded dash. And power options up to 383 cubes of restless V8. Dodge Coronet 500.
Anyone for Dodge Fever?
The 9th inning now. Ed Eulander will lead off for the Twins. Eulander's fly to left, fly to center, flying to right. Jim Lombard had pitched a 2-hitter up till the 8th inning when the Twins came up with 4 singles, but got only 1 run. 5 runs, 12 hits, 2 errors for the Red Sox. 3 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Twins. If the Red Sox hold on to this lead, they will be the American League champs if the Tigers lose their 2nd game. If the Tigers win the 2nd game, and the Red Sox win this one, there'd be a tie, and a playoff would start in Boston tomorrow. If the Twins rally and win it, and the Tigers win the 2nd game, there would be a tie, and the playoff would start in Bloomington, Minnesota tomorrow. Well, down to the last inning of the year for these two clubs, unless there's a playoff. The strike. Carew, another left-hander on deck. And then a left-handed hitting catcher, Nixon. Ball one, strike one. John Wyatt, a right-hander. Ken Brett, a left-hander, warming up in the Red Sox bullpen. Ground ball to Petroselli. Takes a bad hop, hits him in the neck or the face, and Eulander's on. And the Twins now will bring the tying run to the plate. Let's see about Petroselli. That reminds you of the bad hop in the 7th game of the World Series in Pittsburgh when Tony Kubek was struck in the neck. Playing shortstop for the Yankees. Petroselli's all right. On a possible double play ball then. Dick Williams. Talking to him. Buddy LaRue, the trainer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was the 7th chance for Petroselli in the game. Like it came up and hit him in the mouth or the cheek. Well, that's a base hit for Eulander. Petroselli stays in, gets a hand from the fans. Carew, the rookie, has grounded out 3 times to the infield. Grounding ball to second. Andrews tags him, throws, double play. Double play in the 8th inning. That was started by Jerry Adair, who was spiked and had to leave the game. Rookie Mike Andrews goes in and pulls off the same play. One more out, and the Red Sox have clinched at least a tie for the pennant. Rich Rollins is going to bat now. Rich Rollins, the last hope for the Twins. He's on deck to bat just in case. Fans are yelling, we want an out. There's a little bloop. Petroselli's there. The Red Sox are winning. The Red Sox have clinched the tie for the pennant and could be the winner if the Tigers lose the 2nd game. Look at the scene in Boston. They've waited since 1946. Valuable piece of property there the Panther have taken over. I hope they don't hurt him. Jim Lombard pitched a big ball game here today. His 22nd win of the year to bring the Red Sox at least a tie. And now they'll go to their clubhouse, Pee Wee and Sandy, and stand by to see what happens to the Tigers.